feelings not included. Let's get into it. Life, love, and real debate. We setting records straight. What y'all wanna hear today? We coming out the gate. You know how we do it. Feelings not included.
Welcome to the Feelings Not Included podcast, bro. For the first time, I appreciate you joining me. We're just gonna keep it natural, just kind of flow through some different things.
Okay.
One of the reasons I wanted to bring this and create this Black Husbands conversation, I'm in a Facebook group called Black Husbands, and I see all these brothers talk about different things. And I think marriage is lost on a lot of people today, right? I think a lot of people have let social media kind of guide them on what a marriage should be. Like me, you've been married for decades, right?
Yeah.
So people
It's
look
not
at
the
us,
priority anymore.
right? People look at me and say, "Oh man, it ain't like it used to be, man." And I'm thinking to myself, bro, we lived through everything y'all went through, right?
hmm
Social
Yes.
media was new to you; it was new to us at the same time, right? Granted, we didn't grow up in it, but it was the same thing. And so I wanted to just talk about a few different things. One of them being, why do we think relationships don't last like they used to? Right? I want to get your input on that one.
My first answer is people are too quick to quit. Quick to quit.
I'm
As
with you on
soon as
that one.
as soon as there's any sign of any trouble that y'all not compatible. I mean, because that first year you still going through. It's your representative. It's not you. It's not the in that
Right,
first
right.
year, it's your representative. You showing your best self. But the character of a man is shown in times of strife.
No doubt.
That shows your character. That shows your character. And the biggest thing is you just can't quit.
I think you're right on that one, man. And one of the things people today just don't understand is struggle, right? Not just financial struggle, but you're going to struggle. A relationship, in my opinion, is two people trying to be one, and it's impossible, right? It really is, because you have different backgrounds, different genders, different beliefs, all these other things that you gotta find a common foundation, but you still have your differences, right? And you introduce children, and you introduce finances, you introduce all these other things, and folks just people can't handle it. And for me, I think, like you said, quitting is just too easy, right? I don't want to do this shit over. I couldn't imagine
Oh,
trying to start this over. Now, granted, again, we decades in, right? So it's a little different than just the average person getting started. But nonetheless, I couldn't imagine trying to build a foundation, a family, all this again, right? Starting over, right? So for
no.
me, the thoughts and the efforts were, let's get this right, and it was not always right. Let me be honest, right? But my thought was, let me get this right and focus on getting this one right, so that we can just continue going. There's gonna be some ups and downs. There's gonna be some in and outs, but I mean that's life, bro.
And I mean, whatever cliches we want to add to it, the grass is greener where you water it.
Hundred
Is my.
percent.
I mean, there's been trying times, just like in every relationship. My wife. I can't say my wife is my best friend, but just like friends, we get into it too.
No
Because
doubt.
we're not the same. I don't care how long we've been together, and I get disappointed because my expectations. And I disappoint myself because I have a higher expectation of people. I put the same expectations of people that I put on myself.
Right.
So sometimes I get disappointed, but I mean, we still rocking and rolling, man. We still rocking and rolling.
It's a blessing and it's beautiful, right? And I'm with you on that one too, right? I like, obviously, my wife and I have some cultural differences on top of everything else, right?
Mhm.
So we have familial differences, all these other things, and our expectations are different. Our
Mm.
beliefs, to a certain extent, are different. Our experiences, for me, was probably the biggest thing, the biggest challenge. Things are different, right? How we do things, but again, my wife is my best friend. I tell people all the time, I'd rather hang out with my wife than anybody else. People are like, well, man, you crazy. Like, bro, I can trust her 100%. I'm not worried about nothing shady. I'm not worried about somebody else having, ulterior motives. When I'm with my wife, I'm good, right? This is who I'm with all the time, right? COVID didn't hurt us. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Being home
it.
with my wife during COVID was a blessing. Everybody's like, well, I couldn't stand being home with my girl. I'm like, bro, I loved it.
Hey, it was like a vacation. It was like a
No
vacation,
doubt.
man. Because, like I said, there's nobody I'd rather hang out with. When I don't see something shady, she can see it, and vice versa. You know, um, she fills in the spots that I'm missing. And like I said, me and her, we go through our things just like anybody else will. We fight, we argue. It's not, it's
There's
not
no
the
perfect
same. It's not the
relationship.
same arguments that we had when we were broke.
Right, right.
Those
That's a
arguments
different
definitely
argument.
changed.
That
it is a different argument.
it is. It is. No doubt on that one. Yeah. But I will say, bro, one thing I will say about I think broke love is a little stronger, right? Because all you got is love, right? You
That's
know what I'm
it.
saying? That's it. There's no comfort zone to go like, you know what, she done pissed me off. Let me go on the other side of the house. Because on the other side of the house, when you broke, you can still see her. You know what I'm saying? They still right there, she
Yeah.
can still see you. So but no, I think I think you're right, man. It is interesting, right? To have those moments because I know I be pissing my wife off. Probably way more than she pissed me off. I'm gonna be honest. I'm the problem. Right? I'm the problem. But and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying my wife is very supportive. She's very there for me. And I'm the one dealing with all the problems in the world. Right. So I come home sometimes complaining about the world and shit. And that it's good, but it's good to have somebody that can relieve that stress.
Yeah,
Right. To
for
to make things easier for you. As men and women, since we're different, her stress is, I've learned to listen to her complain about her coworkers, right? Because I'll be like, motherfucker, like, man, she just was blah blah blah. I listen to that shit, right? Because that's important to her. Right? I don't know none of these chicks, but they didn't piss her off, so now I'm mad for her. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm gonna be in there with you. But
And
um,
we have to listen. You're supposed to listen, and
no
it's
doubt,
supposed to be active listening because who else is she gonna vent it to?
I prefer
Especially
nobody else.
when you've been together for so long, me and my wife, we don't really have outside friends,
No doubt.
it really just be me and her,
Mhm.
against the world. It always was just me and her. But I always know that my way ain't always the right way. So I
Mhm.
pick up books and everything I can to help me be a better person.
Man, that's what it's about is being a better person and improving your relationship every day. I think some people think after a certain amount of time you don't have to work on it, and that's absolutely wrong. It's work every day, and not in a bad way. You know what I'm
No,
saying? But it's work every day. Every day you have to put in effort. You can't drop the ball, right? Just because you've been together for a long time. I think people think it's on automatic once you get somewhere. And I think there's also a breakdown in belief or understanding of love versus commitment, right?
yeah,
I've been in love with my wife for decades, but I probably could think of a couple times I was like, ooh, right? I
yeah,
love you, but I don't like you right now. Right. And it's a short stint, right? But I've been there. Right. But it's the commitment for the family, commitment to the wife, commitment to the future. Right. And I have grandson now, so this is a blessing. Right. I'm looking and I'm like, man, I created the first generation of my family, right? By marrying my wife. And then we
mm,
created the second generation, right? By having children. Now there's a third generation.
the third
Um,
generation.
and that's crazy, bro. Right? Like that's it's crazy to look at that, but I'm like, I wouldn't give that up for the world. I wouldn't want to miss that for the
No,
world.
no, me either. Me and my wife been together since right before I turned 21, and she was 18. We went on a couple of dates. She moved in with me, and we've been together ever since.
Hey, them old school, but that's what it was, bro. We started dating and
That's
then
just
we
what it
just
was.
we together. Right? And we started a little younger. I was
And
15, she was 16.
we were never separate though. Like everybody always be like, "Well, this my money, this her money," and we got separate bank accounts, but everything that come into the house is ours.
100%. We have
It's
separate
not like
accounts, but we're also on each other's account. I don't know why we call them
me
separate.
too,
Right?
me too.
Like I got
I
my
don't know why
bank.
we got separate accounts,
I
but
just like a different bank. That's what it is. I got a
yeah,
different bank. But yeah, and you're right. Like back in the day, I don't even say back in the day because people still do it today, it just don't last. But you get together and you stay together, right?
hmm
I remember, and I think one of our first dates, and we was in Deep Cover with he was Larry Fishburne then. You
Larry
know what I'm
Fishburne and
saying?
Jeff
He Lawrence
Goldblum
now. You know what I'm
and
saying?
Jeff Goldblum, deep cover.
Right, right. So that was one of our first, bro. I remember way back. And dating, I think there's a shift today, right? Back in our day, you dated the person you liked, right? These cats
Mhm.
today are just dating people for different reasons, like or even chicks too, right? Oh, these chicks want a $200 dinner because they don't like you, bro. Like just keep it a buck,
That's it. That's it. Because
right?
a picnic could do.
Man, a picnic will do, right? Like if you are into the person or into you, you don't have to spend a whole lot. I'm not saying don't go out because we've done some. I've taken my wife to dinner in Miami and flew back the same day, right? It's just
Yeah, right.
but she earned that. That's not something I would do for anybody else. Um, but you don't need to spend a lot of money when you're trying to get to know somebody, right? And again, if they're pushing that, there's something else wrong. Either like I said, even I'm gonna stick with they don't like you because you could take the baddest chick in the world and it's a dude that she loves and she do anything for nothing. Right? I mean, it's just a different. I don't know. We're in a different time, man. I think we focus too much now on
The
social
superficial.
media, so the stuff everybody can see on the outside.
Yeah,
right? Instead of focusing on what matters. I don't care what anybody outside my house think about me. That's just it.
yeah, for real. For real. What's in my house that matters, and we take care of my mother-in-law and my mom live with us too. So
That's what's
so we
up,
got
bro.
multiple generations in the house because gonna say they didn't, prepare the way they were supposed to.
But
So
you
they
you are in a position that you can do that,
in a
right?
position to be able to do it. So I was
Um,
blessed to be able to do it.
yeah, I lost both my parents early. My father passed away when I was 21. My mom passed away when I was 23. So I look at your situation. I'm like, man, that's a blessing, right?
Yeah, I got my mom when she retired, she moved in with me and we were still in Colorado. And then when we moved here to Texas, she moved here with us.
That's what's up, bro. What's let's talk about masculinity, how it used to be, right, versus what it
Mhm.
is today. I think back in our day, masculinity was just being a man, right? Being confident, not necessarily being tough, but standing up for yourself, right? You didn't have to prove anything, but you prove that you were a man. You stood on your 10 toes, right?
Yes.
I think we probably tried to impress women a little harder than than we, what I'm saying, maybe needed to. But I look at dudes today and I'm like, man, all the young dudes today, I feel like they're trying to impress other men. That's weird to me,
That's
right?
that's serious. That's serious because our game was put together for girls. I mean, we used to go to the mall on Saturdays to look for girls.
Take the bus.
And these dudes, they would rather impress the next man. They would rather impress the next man.
Bro, it hit me. I was in there's a little bar called Brothers, right? And I was older. It's me, I was with my wife and some other friends, and it was this circle of dudes dancing, right? And this girl tried to get in, they was like elbowing her out. I said, what, what? Wait a minute. Right? I'm looking, I'm like, and these didn't look no, these wasn't no gay dudes. They didn't want to, they was just dancing among each other. And I'm like, that's crazy. I never,
Nah, I would rather get my girl and me and her go tuck off somewhere.
man.
But these dudes, they do everything. Everything is for show.
Yep.
Everything they do is for show.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a
some of my son, he would talk about me because we was going on a trip or something. Oh, you be caking. I'm like, man, that's my wife. I'm
for
supposed
sure.
to. What do you mean?
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you can be tough with the world, but you got to be soft with your wife.
100%, bro. And I tell people there's places I go without my wife, but I will never go a place she's not welcome. That's just who I am.
No. Mhm.
Right? I can go anywhere without her, but if she can't be there, I ain't gonna be there either. And vice versa. Right? Like this is my number one, right? Over everything. Because your kids grow up, they move out, right? But your
Mhm.
wife, if everything work out, she don't move out, right? You don't move out. It continues. And I think I was talking to a young, well, I say he won't say young, he's young to me, but he's in his 30s, and he's like, man, our kids are getting older. I think one of the daughters left high school and the other was right behind. He's like, and me and the wife don't really talk that much. I said, man, y'all focused on the kids only. Like you didn't do date nights. You focused everything around kids. You had, and don't get me wrong, focus on your kids too. But remember that they will leave. I'm like, y'all did all the travel sports and everything. And then when the kids stop hanging with y'all don't really know each other. You
And
know what
that's it. I was telling my brother a couple of months ago that said I couldn't imagine leaving my wife. I don't even know who I am without. I don't have an identity outside of being married. I don't know who I would be, but
That's a good point, bro. I don't think I've ever really thought about it like that, but you do have a great point that I don't know who the hell I would be. Right? I
no.
don't everything I've ever done was me and Carrie. Right? Me and Carrie. Vacations, working, coming home. I've
Mm,
never I've never been single, bro. Like from the time I started getting dating, I've never been single. I've never not lived with a woman. Right? I lived with my mom and then I lived with my wife. Like
mhm.
there was no in between. Um that's I didn't even think about that, bro. That's
And
interesting.
one relationship your whole adult life. So I mean, we grew together. So I don't know who I am. You rip us apart. It's like Siamese twins. You rip us apart. I don't know who I would be without her.
Right. And
You know,
we gonna catch some hell for that one, but that's the truth. Right? Because
I mean,
a lot of cats will be like, you
I'll
gotta
take
be on
that.
your own man, and you are your own man, but part of who you are is her. Right?
Yeah,
That's like I don't have my last memory, bro, without my wife was when I was probably 14. I'm 50,
yeah,
right? That's a gap of I've again since both my parents passed away. I've been with my wife longer than I've been with anybody. I haven't,
yeah,
I've known her. Well, obviously, I've known my siblings longer, but more time has been spent right with
yeah.
my wife than anybody else in this world. Um,
have been together longer than you weren't together.
Yeah, that and when that number hit, bro, I was like 31 when that you know what I'm saying, when that changed,
Mhm.
right? From not being with her the most to being with her the most. And that was crazy. So it is that is an interesting thing. I've never thought about that. I wouldn't even, bro, my whole Facebook is us. I wouldn't go to
Yeah,
social media, I would have to start fresh. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
I honestly, I don't have an identity outside of when people talk about us. They don't talk about April or Elmer as April and Elmer.
right.
That's
Yep.
just who we are.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, we experienced life together. Not only did we grow together, it was experiences. Every memory I got of big moments in my life, she was there.
Bro, that's a blessing. I tell people all the time. I said, man, listen, I don't know how long I got on this earth, but don't cry for me when I'm gone. I've spent 3 decades, over 3 decades with the person I love. Right? We
Yeah.
didn't got married. We didn't raise children. Our children, one of our kids got married. Both our kids graduated. One of our kids is a baby. Right? I've done everything that an 80-year-old man is supposed to do. Right? Whatever day I tap out, man, don't cry for me. Appreciate the life I live because I couldn't imagine not having this, and I got siblings that have been married and divorced, and I'm just like, man, I don't know how y'all do it, right?
No,
Like,
I honestly don't have the strength for it.
I don't
I,
have
I
the
don't want to
desire,
learn the crust of nobody else. I don't want nobody else to learn the crust of me.
right?
I mean,
I
God
mean,
forbid something happens, but
I was about to say the exact words. God forbid something happen. I always say we joke. I'm like, man, if an alien took my wife away, because that's the only way what I'm saying. If she got abducted,
yeah,
right? I wouldn't, I wouldn't be worth shit because all I'm gonna talk about is this shit. All I know is us,
because that
right?
is all you know. That is all you know.
Right? If you
I
ask
mean,
me,
me and
my
her, we
first,
got into it and wanted to leave, and after a while, I'm like, look, we ain't going nowhere. It's time
nah,
to ain't nobody going nowhere.
no, we for each other, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
it.
you have real conversations and real fight. And we fought over the years, bro, and that's normal. When I say fought, I don't mean physical. I mean arguments, disagreements.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
normal shit. I think a lot of people get that fight, that first good argument, and they're like, I'm done, right? And sometimes they already had kids, right? Sometimes they already brought in other people into the world. Now
And
you know
now
what
you
I'm.
want to
Now you
quit.
want to quit, and
Now you
and
wanna quit.
that's that's difficult, and then floating around in I try to immerse myself in married group social media, right? Like just to understand. And I look and I listen to a lot of the problems, and I'm referencing this Black Husbands group. And I don't know if I added you into it, but I will. But I listen to a lot of the problems these brothers have, and I'm like, but y'all living the podcast life, right? I know I'm on a podcast, but I'm like, y'all living the podcast life. You listen to what this dude say a woman should do and has to be in this, and that shit's not real. You
No,
know what I'm saying? You
there's no
listening to
one
him,
size fits all for
nah.
any type of relationship.
And I've been with the same woman for over 34 years. And I will not tell anybody what you need to do with your woman, right? There's certain things that are universal. Treat her good, be respectful,
Mhm.
the basic things that you do as a decent human. But you got cats out here who are not in relationships telling men what a relationship should be and what a wife should be. And I'm like, y'all gotta stop doing that. Once you get off of social media, get off the internet, the real world is still the real world.
Real world's still the real world. I'm
And
with you there.
everything what you see on social media, like you said, is for show. Everybody wants everybody else to like what they're displaying, right?
Mm.
For me, I just want I like what's in my house, right? And it's weird because my wife and I work together, right? And well, I don't say together, but we both work in the house together,
Okay.
right? Um, bro, I probably put in. Obviously, I've got my clients. I go see stuff like that, but on an average day, I'm probably putting in 14, 16 hours before. You know what I'm saying? Not including sleep. That's chilling with my, and I
Yeah.
ain't got no problem, right? We'll step out, uh, like to Bar Louie or something like that, have a drink. But I got a bar at the crib. It didn't
That,
take me long to figure out like I could buy a bottle for the price you want to charge me for these two drinks. I'd rather just add a bottle to the stash. So, but yeah, I had a bar at the crib, so we bring people over, and some close friends. Usually, when I have people over, it's people I went to school with, elementary school with. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
yeah.
People that I've known for decades. I'm not really a new friend kind of dude. I like to meet
Nah,
people,
me
but where my wife and kids, be at, you can't come here. Right? You
either.
you gotta be friends. Like you gotta be real long term friends. So
I mean, I got kids and grandkids, man. They pretty much fill up. I don't have a lot of time for friends. I have a bar at the crib. Me and my wife, the only time we really go out, we take trips. We take a lot of trips.
Hmm.
But we'll go to the movies, on a Friday night is one that's a couple, and not it's just to do something to do. It's a date basically,
Right. You know, we
you know.
we used to do that, man. I think we went once and they was fighting in the theater. I was like, bro, I can't. Like, what? How
No,
are
see,
you
it's
fighting?
not going on out here. This one, I mean, it got the ones like we went and seen that last Superman, and it had the seats that's like it's the 40X theater that throw you
Yeah,
around and rain in the theater and everything. For a while, we was just going to do that, but we switch it up, man. We love shopping, We
the-
just love chilling. Just, I mean, we could be doing nothing, and that's the greatest day for me.
man. And I'm with you on that one. And I think it's. I don't remember what movie it was. I think it was like Office Space or no. Man, I can't remember what it was. Will Ferrell had Luke Wilson, or not Luke, the Owen Wilson, one of them two Wilson brothers. And dude, dude was like, "We're going to Home Depot today," and it was exciting. And I'm like, "Bro, that shit is real." Right?
That's it.
Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, babe, we going to Lowe's. Goddamn it, just get dressed. We on our
Yeah,
way." You know what I'm
I got
saying?
a plan to go to the Container Store in the morning. I've already been told.
He said, "You already been told
Go
about your
to the
plans,
Container
huh?"
Store. Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
you know it too. You
oh, no
got you
doubt.
own your home. It's always something that need to be done.
It's always, bro, always something. But that's again, I don't know. I don't know what single life is like,
No,
but it don't
I don't.
sound good to me, right? If I when I think about my homies, they're like, man, this chick come over. I'm like, where'd you put your wallet? Like, would you? You're like, you had to hide shit, right? Because at least I'm paranoid. I don't want nobody in my, what I'm saying, in my space that I don't know. Because I'm gonna assume you gonna take something.
For
You know,
real, for
you know.
real.
I don't know.
And it's bad that we have to think that way.
But we grew up a way where you gotta, you had to pay attention to your surroundings, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Everybody
oh
wasn't on the up and up, so you learn and it sticks with you. But I don't know, bro. It's different. I love, right? If
yeah.
that makes sense,
No,
right?
no, it's true. Definitely.
To be able to share that with somebody for an extended period of time is a blessing. I will say the part of marriage that scares me the most, and this is probably gonna sound weird, but I hope I die first. I know that
Me too.
sounds messed up, bro.
I say it all the time.
I hope I
I hope
can't.
it's me.
I
For
don't.
real.
That's selfish. It's selfish and selfless at the same time. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
for real.
Like that's where I'm at mentally. I'm like, man, I've done this so long. I don't want to do this another way.
Nah,
Um,
me too, man.
Now I know I got some homies be like, man, I can't wait for my wife to kick the bucket. I'm like, bro, since you're the wrong one. You know what I'm
Now,
saying? You
when I
do it.
when I was younger, man, I took it for granted. You know what I mean? And I used to tell her I wish I could go back and love you the right way from the beginning,
Yeah.
because I never looked at myself as the marrying type. I never thought I was gonna be married.
I think one of the things that we don't think about or we don't do is I got a therapist a while back, and everybody said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing's wrong, bro. I just got a lot of shit I want to say and just get off my chest, right? And just have conversations." And I was telling her this, my therapist was a woman, and I was saying something similar to what you said, and she said, "Man, when men hit a certain age, they really start to look back at life, right, and
Mm.
think about all the wrong or not right things necessarily that they did to somebody they love or people they liked, and you go through that process of realizing that if you knew then what you know now, a whole lot of things would have been done differently,
Yeah,
right?"
when you know better, you do better.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. I've said to my wife, "Man, I wish I could have done everything right from the start. If I
Mm.
knew this was where it was going to go, right?
Yeah,
I would have been. I'd have been laid down so you could walk over a puddle. You know what I'm saying? Like you would have
that,
never
hey,
had a
that was
bad day.
perfect right there. What you just said,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love it.
And I'm still a traditional dude. I drop my girl off, I pick her up, I open the umbrella and hold it, I open doors, I pull out chairs. That's always been me, right? And so for me, it's natural. But I realized that my wife is used to that because a couple times we'd walk into the door, and
Yeah,
if I don't open the
chivalry is
door,
definitely not dead.
right? If I walk up my wife to a door and I open it, she'll just stand there. Right? I'm like, man, if I kill over, you gonna be outside. you
It's
know,
just natural. I mean,
it's
it comes
natural.
natural. Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's not it's a combination of two things. It's who I am, but like you said, who I am is a part. She's a big part of that, and it's me
Hmm.
wanting to do that kind of stuff for her, right? Um, but and in her on the flip side, I have an amazing wife, right? She's literally in my phone as my amazing wife. She's been in my phone like that for like a decade. I have an amazing wife, right? I don't go through a lot of the stuff I hear a lot of other people go through, right? I don't. So when I say I'm the problem, my wife is very, very supportive. She loves me. She does all these other things. I mean, I didn't realize how much of a burden I was until my kids move out. I'm like, man, the house is messy, but ain't nobody here but me, right? But I'm like, oh, I should probably start cleaning up more, right?
Yeah.
I started carrying, which is sad to say, but I didn't. It took until my kids were, and I granted I worked and I traveled around for work and shit like that, but it took for my kids to be gone for me to realize, man, I need to do more. Like this woman is doing a lot.
Yeah.
So I started cleaning up more, doing stuff, things, and dishes and cleaning. Of course, I don't clean to her liking, so I clean the whole house. She come right behind me and re-clean
You
it. But
gotta do it right behind you.
you know what I'm saying? But
That's the worst thing is to have them feel unappreciated.
no doubt, right? And you realize that, bro. And I know it just sounds like we just sitting here praising our wives, but I think that's because we got good wives, bro. Like
Yeah,
they
for
deserve
real.
that. They deserve
For
that
real.
praise.
Now, like I said, we've had our arguments and everything where, I'll be like, I'm just gonna jump in my ride and go. You know
No
what I
doubt. You
mean?
know where you're gonna end up though. You end
Uh,
back at the crib.
I end up back at the crib.
Yeah.
I end up back because I have to weigh my options. I have to weigh things out. And I mean, we'll get over it.
Yeah.
Me and her get over it.
Yeah. I don't think people put the thought into into relationships and marriage anymore. I think it's provider versus we've broken it down into two or three key points, and I'm like, that's not. Yes, a man should provide, right?
It's
Yes, a man should.
transactional. When did it become
Man,
transactional?
man, that's
I don't
crazy.
understand why.
I don't
I
I
said,
don't
we
need
in it together. Me and my wife in it together, man, like two bank robbers or two criminals. We in
100%,
it together.
right?
From the mud to wherever we at now. We've been in it together because we experienced it all together. Like I said,
Man,
there's never been a time that it's been, well, this is my money over here and this her money over there. It's always been our money. I don't whatever's in her account, I have access to whatever. I mean,
100%.
she make way more money than I do, but it's all our money.
And I think some people struggle with that too because there was a time in my life where my wife made a lot more than me as I was trying to do some other things, and it's never been an issue because it's house money, right?
It's
But I
house
think
money.
the issue comes in for a lot of men when they're using money to control, right?
Yeah.
If you use money to control someone and then you don't have that, you lost your control, and you shouldn't even be trying to control a relationship, right? When I say my wife is supportive, my wife trusts me as a leader. But I
Yeah.
can't come home tomorrow and be like, "Hey, babe, fuck that job. I'm rapping." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, she gonna be the hype man.
but you gonna have to do something else. That ain't you ain't quitting the job, right? I trust you, right? And that trust has been built from making the right decisions to lead the family and to do those things, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand that it is not transactional. It is not a tit for tat, right?
No, it's not,
It's
man.
some days, shit, some days she's gonna do more, some days I'm gonna do more, some days we're gonna do all of it together, right?
The 100, there's no such thing as 50-50.
Right.
I
One of
get
the
into it. If I argue with somebody in my family, the first thing they'll throw up in my face is, "Oh, well, your wife make more money than you." So,
it's the house, bro.
I mean, we've been in it together. We 30 years in. So,
Right,
thank you. Get you one.
100%. I it's interesting how like when I was one of the first. I'm the youngest of four boys, right? Uh,
Mhm.
I was well, I guess I was the second one to get married. My oldest brother got married, but that was short lived. When I got married, one of my brothers was like, "Man, that's stupid shit you can do." I'm like, "Bro, then don't do it." Right? Like, don't tell me that it's stupid for me, right? And I'm not gonna put him out there, but this is not his first marriage that he's on, or second. But I'm gonna leave it at that. But what's interesting is now he comes around. He's like, bro, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm blessed. I'm happy that y'all was you're able to have this long term marriage. And he said, man, you have an amazing wife, and it's a good marriage. And I'm like, man, I appreciate you noticing that, right? But I knew that early, right? I'm not trying to
Yeah,
sound conceited or selfish. I put effort into choosing who I marry, right? And I think a lot of people skip that part, right? Like to me, when I met her, she was already a good person. But as we stayed together, I
yeah.
was like, man, she would be a great mom. She would be a great s- teacher of our children, right? She would be a great person to model a daughter after, right? And so for me, it was an easy decision. Um, like anybody else, we had problems, right? It was not every day was not sunshine and clear skies, right?
It's
And
still not.
and it's still not. But you know what?
But I got enough to say that. Look, I'm 50. Ain't neither one of us going nowhere.
Mm-mm,
So just, I mean, we in it.
we in it. I will say one of the things that I think that was a big change for me, and I don't know, it was years and years and years ago, but I started to realize when I was wrong, I need to come say I was wrong, right? And not just that, when I not even necessarily wrong, but if I had a unnecessary attitude, I'm gonna
Mhm.
apologize for it because I'm fucking this up, right?
Yeah, for
I
real.
want to go to sleep happy every night, right? Because I'm gonna wake up happy. And so we decided a long time ago we don't go to bed mad, right? We don't go to bed mad because that makes for a rough night. Plus, again, as we get older, bro, we ain't guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. The last thing
Hey,
I
that's
want,
my philosophy on it. But me and my wife could argue. I'm up all night. She'd be knocked out, snoring. You know what I mean? Like you said, this ain't we ain't gonna be the I'm not sugarcoating stuff. I'm not gonna seem like I got, my wife, she's the greatest to me.
right?
But a lot of people couldn't deal with some of the stuff that she does, but
Oh,
I mean, I
hey,
know it's
listen,
hurt,
I,
you know.
I've told cats every woman is crazy. Find a woman who crazy you can deal with and deal with it,
That's it.
right?
You got
Because
it
because
perfect.
because it's bro. It was a time my wife, we used to call her. She had a nickname, Sybil, right? When that tequila hit, shit. I said, "Who is this?" You know what I'm saying? It was fun till it wasn't. Shit, so
Yeah, and I mean still to this day, man, I can't go to sleep if we've gotten into it. I'm up all night. But she sleep like a baby.
see, for me,
Like,
I
I
gotta.
don't understand. How can you? I don't get it, man. I
I'm
don't get it.
I'm scared, bro. I'm a peep of the buck. I'm scared because I'm scared at night we gonna go to sleep and somebody gonna wake up, and I don't want the last thing for me. And it's selfish, right? But the last thing for me to be we were fighting, right?
Yeah,
That's because I can't fix it, right? If
yeah,
that's out in, right, I can't fix it. So for me, it's again, it's probably considered selfish, but that's part of the reason for me why I'm like, can't do it. I got to try to work on it, right? And try to understand that this is still the most important thing to me, right? Now, again, don't
yeah,
get me
for
wrong. I
real.
love my kids, love my grandson, but without my wife, I wouldn't have none of it, right? So,
No, no. And that's who you chose. Everybody else came from you. That's who you
right,
chose to be with, you
right,
know?
yes, sir,
And
yes, sir,
I mean, there's nobody more important.
man.
There's
And
nobody more important.
a lot of people outside of the relationship don't understand that. It's like, man, you'll never
No,
go
like
nowhere
I said,
without your wife.
they'll
I'm like,
continue to say, like you said earlier, that we just praising our wives and everything. I mean, but she got her faults just like anybody else.
everybody
But
else.
I can deal with them. It's nothing egregious to the point where I just can't deal with it no more, and I got to go.
Right. I had one of my homies say, man, y'all never post nothing. All you ever post is positive. Bro, my house business is house business. I'm not gonna put on social media that we
No,
had an argument,
no,
right? We don't put feelers out for other people to try to see what's going on,
no.
right?
I don't even post my life on social media.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that people are bothered that they don't see bad shit in another person's
Yeah,
relationship. Um,
they,
it's like, well, y'all, we have disagreements. We're human, right?
hmm
There's certain things you do that drive me goddamn crazy, but I'll take that piece with all the other good stuff,
yeah,
right? It's a
right.
balance, right? It's a compromise. So, um, going back to social media and a lot of people say, well, man, you guys didn't have the temptation that we had. I'm like, bro, it was way different back in the day, right? Back in the day, if you went to the other side of town, whatever you did, nobody knew about it, right?
No,
To be social media is not temptation. Social media is how everybody's getting in trouble. Like, bro, you do something here and they know before you get home. Like, that's not temptation, bro. That's the
no.
exact
And
opposite,
then
in
my
my opinion.
wife, like you and yours, y'all had been together so long before social media came out that I mean, me and her, we went through the phase when in the '90s when I was out there getting phone numbers, seeing how many phone numbers I can get, see if I still had it. You know, we
Right,
went
right,
through all of that. So social media and everything, it's not that. It's not anything that's extremely important to me. You know, I get on there. I really get on there for news that I don't get to keep up with during the day because people lead busy lives.
right. For me, my social media has become mostly my grandson. Right?
Yeah,
I used to say to people, man, I don't know why people put their kids on. Why my grandson? I'm like, well, I'm so happy to share these photos, and
for real.
it's just different, bro. It hits different. You know, another topic, and it's a little more. I'm going to say personal. When I say personal, just the topic in general, sex
Okay.
and intimacy over time, right? I've been blessed in that aspect. For us, it's been pretty consistent. But
Yeah.
as we get older, things change, right?
Yeah.
My wife's had some surgeries and some medical things. So, and then sometimes I remember she was down. I think the longest one was 10 or 12 weeks. And people are like, I
Mhm.
can't believe. It's like, bro, when my wife is sick, my mind don't think about sex. When my
No,
wife is
mine
hurt,
either.
right, I
Mine
don't
either.
have like the desire's gone, right? Which is crazy because I'm a sexual dude, right? So when it even is interesting to me that when something isn't right, she's sick or something like that. I'm like, bro, I don't really care about that shit. But sex is important. I want to say that it's important
Okay.
to keep the bond together over the years, right? You 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 have to continue to have some intimacy. So when I say sex, I don't mean just
That's what I
actual
was just
sex,
about to say.
right?
It's a difference between just physical sex and
Intimacy,
empathy.
hand holding, kissing, whatever is your love language, right? Or whatever is your way of showing affection. Because I think for us, we like appreciation, we like acknowledgement. Women like affection, they like attention, and that's cool. But I think I've heard people say, "Well, man, when my wife when sex slow down, I don't feel like paying bills. I don't want to buy nothing." I'm like, bro, that's you got to get off that transactional mindset because
I don't understand that. Why everything has become so transactional. Like with me and my wife, man, half the time, like I said, I'm still a sexual person, but I crave more of the intimacy. She's not the most affectionate person, but I am. So, I mean, we have our quirks, you know what I mean? But
it balances out.
it does. It balances out because, like I said, half the time, man, I got so damn old. I don't be wanting to have sex. I want us to sleep good.
Right? I
A
imagine you
good
get
night
older,
of
shit
sleep.
change, right?
Shit, let me get
Shit
to sleep.
changes. Like I
So
don't know what day, but one day this motherfucker quit working. Right? I gotta have something else going in this house. It was just a reality, bro. I'm old, man. No, like listen. One day I sat on my nuts, nigga. I knew I was too old.
that's
That's reality, right?
it's
Shit
not at the
happens.
forefront of my mind anymore like it was when I was younger. Peace. I crave peace more than I do anything else.
100%. That's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. It's relaxation. Take we and the wife will go out, sit down. We don't she don't drink like we used to drink. I didn't drink till I was 32. That's when I had my first drink. Right?
Mm,
She was drinking when we were younger, but she don't drink like too often. So sometimes I have a drink. She'll pop an edible. Right? We chill,
mm,
relax, and just chill out and go nowhere. We'll break out the cards. Right? We'll break out the music, and then whatever
mhm.
happens happens. Right? But the
Yeah.
whole time we're touching, laughing. You know what I'm saying? Just being us. And I think I think one of the things that a lot of people struggle with when they've been in a relationship or even new relationships with a lack of sex is you're doing nothing to excite that woman,
No.
right? I'm not 15, but when I was 15, 16, all she had to do was take a titty out. And
That's
boy,
it.
I was ready. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't have to be out to keep it a buck, right? The wind just had to blow right. But as you get
That's it.
older, right, there's more to it. Right? You understand that it's about for me, it's about pleasing her, right? And it's and the whole thing is pleasing us, right? And I think people just forget it, and they don't take in consideration. People are busy with work and children and lives and stress and all the other things that go into it. You can't just get up, come home and at a shitty day at work, whatever, get in the bed like let's have there's more to it.
No, it don't work like that.
It don't work. That's
And having a happier home life, man, it makes everything easier.
100%.
You know, I could definitely have peace at home. I'll have strife out in the world all day. But at home, this is my sanctuary. This is where I want. With my wife, like I said, I'm more about the intimacy. If I can lay down, I mean, put your hand on me. Just put your hand on me on my back or something, and I'm good.
Let me know you
That's
here.
all I
You
need.
know what I'm saying?
Uh, Peace, man. I'm for real. I crave that more than everything. And laughter. Me and my wife, one thing about it, she can make me laugh like a motherfucker, and I make her laugh.
That's good, bro.
That
You
was
need
one
that
of our
laugh.
biggest things is laughing.
Yeah, you need that laughter. I remember once when I quit my last job before I started my company, my boss said, "Man, on the way out, he's like, man, you never had a bad day at work." I said, "Because the worst thing that can happen is you send me home to the people that love me, right? Like that's the absolute worst thing you
I
can
like
do to me,
that.
right?
I
Like
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 that.
you can't do anything to me but send me where I want to go, right?" And I felt confident enough in myself that I have a skill set I can get another job, but and I said, but if I messed up and you fired me, I didn't have any stress because all you could do was send me home to the people that love me. And that, bro, that's
Mhm.
not a problem for me. right?
No, it's not.
That's the end goal. That's what I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? You slowing me down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, that was you know, peace and home life is where it's at. Don't get me wrong. Me and my wife we'll go get a room downtown South Bend, right? Just do something different, right?
Yeah.
We'll go get a room at the casino. As a matter of fact, shit, we've had rooms at the casino probably this whole month. We had him this weekend, but we canceled it because he wasn't feeling good. Got him next weekend. We ain't going nowhere. Casino 15 minutes down the street. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's just something different. We pack up, go over there, chill. We come home for a couple hours during the day, right? You know, get whatever we didn't bring or didn't want to pack, and go back. It's us, right? And I'm the whole point of me having this conversation, or us having this conversation, is I want brothers to hear that marriage can work, right? Marriage is a good thing if you choose the right person, but it is more than just a big booty and a smile. Hey, BBD
It
said
has
you
to
can't trust it,
truly be a
right?
partnership.
Yeah,
There's nothing selfish about me in my relationship. Nothing selfish about me.
yeah. You know, I find it interesting. Like I don't need privacy to a certain extent, right? And what I mean by that is when I get up, so say me and my wife are out and we're on a double date with some people or we hanging out with some people. When I get up, I don't necessarily need to take my phone with me, right?
No,
My
I'm gonna
phone,
read mine. She can
right?
answer.
You
I'll
can,
be like, why ain't you
hey,
get it if it do ring?
that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird because like I was doing something today and I was upstairs and my phone was downstairs and my phone rang and she's like, "Baby, your phone." I'm like, "Get it? Like, what do you mean? Just go ahead,
Please
grab it."
get it.
Right. Please get it. I need that phone call. Right. And I see like it's weird because for people who don't live that way, it looks strange. Right. When you out
Yeah,
with people and they get up and take their phone everywhere they go and you don't, the other people start to notice, like, why? You know what I'm saying? The dude take his phone everywhere he go. Like for me, it's just it's not a I don't have anything to hide, right? So there's no big deal there. We have somebody said, "Do you have your wife's password?" Yeah, we have the same password on our phone, right?
we do too.
Right, but I'm old. I need her to be able to access my shit if something happened.
If
Right, like
something happened, she need access to everything.
everything, bro. Right, and as somebody told me once, he's like, "Man," because we were going somewhere. I'm telling my wife, "Man, why you tell your wife everything?" I said, "Bro, I'm out away from the house. If something happened, she need to know where I'm at." Right?
For real.
Maybe something happened at the location I'm at. I don't want my wife to something happened to me and she's like, well, where was he at last? I don't know. You can't help nobody find me. You know what I'm saying? You can't explain nothing. My wife know who I'm with, where I'm going, because that is comfort for her and comfort for me. Right? My wife doesn't go out with her friends a lot. I wish she would sometimes. Like, babe, just go have her girls' night, her girls' day, girls' trip, whatever. It's her and my daughter. They like to go places. I'm like,
Yeah,
whatever, right? But when I go somewhere, I need my wife to know where I'm at.
for
Just
real.
that's just comfort, in my
And it's just
opinion.
a matter of respect too.
Right,
I want to know where she wants to know where I'm at too.
right.
I
It's
mean,
just
why not?
respect. You know,
I
it's
think people put too much thought into it. You got to treat her as if that's your other half.
it
Like I
is,
said,
bro.
everything that I'm missing, she fill in. We was raised completely different. I was raised with a single mom. She had both parents and nannies and all of it. You know what I mean? We was raised different. She introduced me to a lot of things that I wouldn't have never thought about coming from South Bend. You
That
know,
that is that
I
is
didn't have
interesting,
a vision. She
right?
helped me out with a vision.
You know, I was a street cat, right? I did my dirt in the streets. I ran the streets. I hustled, whatever. And I remember my wife saying to me, girlfriend at the time, "Babe, I want you, not the money. I need you to quit what you're doing, right, and focus on us and do something positive for the family, right? So we can do this." And I'm like, man, and I tell people all the time, my wife saved my life, bro. Um,
Yes.
because a lot of my friends uh, went in different places. Some went 6 feet, you know what I'm saying, 6 feet under. Some went to the been locked up, and I'm just like, bro, I was on that path, right? And my woman wanted me more than she wanted the shit I was buying, and at the time, bro, I was doing way too much.
Yeah.
Um, and to have a woman who says, listen, we can struggle, so I don't have to be without you. That one that hit home. That hit hard for me, bro. And so I say to her all the time, whatever happens in life, I got you to the best of my ability because you made sure I did not put myself in a horrible ass place when I was trying to put myself in a horrible ass place.
Yeah.
So
For real.
so for me that is that was I don't know I don't want to say a wake up call, but that was just like a reality check, bro. where
Yeah, when I met my wife, I mean, I had already left South Bend and moved to Colorado because I had a little bit of foresight. I didn't need to be in South Bend anymore. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
I never felt like it was for me, and that's because my mom used to send me to Denver when I was younger with my dad. And when I met my wife, I was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, even in Denver. And I even kind of corrupted her a little bit, had her 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and things just started to, we decided things just grew. Things just grew. I mean,
Mhm.
we've been through a lot of things, and it ain't nobody else I'd rather do it with. Nobody else I'd rather do it.
Bro, that sounds amazing, right? To hear another man say that, I feel like when I'm listening to you, I'm listening to me, right? Like I've
Yeah,
said,
for real.
we say a lot of the same things, and we come from the same places, right? Like it does. You don't have to have a lot to become a lot, right? You don't have to come from a background of two parents married their entire time for you to become two parents married their entire time, right? You don't have to. Basically, you don't have to be a product of your environment, right? You can be whatever you want to be. You just are. That's just the foundation, right? Who you are, how you were raised, what you came up with, that's ingrained in you, but you don't have to repeat the unnecessary parts. Repeat all the good parts you can, right? But you don't have to do, but it takes effort. And I think it goes back to one of the very first things we say, people quit too early,
Well,
right?
man, I'll be honest. My wife, she taught me how to drive a stick. I didn't know how to fill out how to write a check until I met my wife. They taught us in school, but I didn't pay attention to that. So by the
Right.
time for me to do it, she was the one who taught me that. I never when we first got together, I used to always take her back to South Bend. And she's like, "Why do we always gotta go back to South Bend? Let's go somewhere else." So she started taking me other places, and I'm like, "Shit, I'm not going back to South Bend."
I ain't mad at
You
you.
know, it,
I was laughing about the
I
stick thing
learned
'cause
a
my
lot
wife
from
taught me how to drive a stick too.
'Cause I didn't know about credit or nothing, man. It took for my wife to tell me about paying bills and everything. I
Mhm.
mean, I had an apartment before her, but I was like Scarface, I'm going for broke. I don't care who I owe, you
Right,
know?
right.
But
You know, it,
she
it
told
it
me,
is
"Nah."
it is crazy, bro. I'm listening to you. Like my wife taught me how to drive. She taught me in her mama car. It's probably a problem, but that was nonetheless I learned that the common sense stuff that you should know. My wife taught me like the same thing,
Mhm.
how to write a check, bro. We did it in school, but I had no checking account. Shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
then
didn't I didn't practice
she
what I
helped me with my
preach.
first bank account.
Yeah, I didn't know shit about credit. I didn't know, bro. Somebody in my family got a credit card in my name because I got an American Express card, and they keep telling me my card says member since 1981. Bro, I was 5, right? I was 5 in 1981. So I don't know who in my family got me a card, but I'm like, somebody was burning my shit up because because it's the reality. But my wife taught me a lot about that because I wasn't raised with that information. But
No, we
but
wasn't.
we
I
were able
wasn't.
to teach our kids. So by the time they turn
Mhm.
18, they were walking out with 750, 720 credit scores, things that we didn't do, right? And
Yes,
understanding
absolutely.
how to not take that and run with it, right? Not take this credit card that they gave you with a $10,000 limit and see if you could spend 10,000 in a day. Because
Yeah,
I'm
because
not gonna lie, that's
we had the good credit, and then we ran it bad, and then we got it good again. We've gone through the whole process
yes, sir.
together. I mean, bumping our heads together and
Yeah,
everything. Every memory I look back on, good and bad. I mean, she's been there. When I
you
got
know,
thrown out of the car window, she was at the hospital with me. Um, More so than anybody else, whether it be my siblings or even my kids. She's the person I'd rather. My daughter always say, "Boy, if you could have mom on an island by yourselves, that's what you would do."
we'd be out. We'd be out. But and that you're right, man. When the most important things are there, my wife has been with me through the death of my father, the death of my mother, the birth, obviously, of my children. Watching our grandchild, through every major decision or major event, right? I run all decisions through my wife. Doesn't matter what it is, right? Any majors, I'm not gonna just come home
Me
like, hey,
too.
by the way, I bought a rental property. Like that's not a
Yeah,
conversation
nah.
that's gonna happen that way. It's gonna be like, hey, let's sit down and talk, right? And when I got ready to start my business, right, I sat down with my wife for a long time and I talked about it, right? We talked about it for months. I'm like, man, this is what I want to do, but I got faith in myself, but let's have this discussion, right? I need to hear
Yeah.
your concerns, right? What are your concerns? What are your, the things that are things that are making you uncomfortable, so we can iron those out. Because if I don't iron those out, you're going to be worried about. things instead of being able to focus on what you need to do.
Yeah.
She was honest. She's like, what happens if the business doesn't work? I said, well, I have a skill set. I have another job in no time, right? Making a
Yeah.
decent amount of money. I said, but that's a real question. So to alleviate those concerns, I'm going to take 6 months worth of bill money and pay bills, right?
Yeah.
So we got 6 months to not really necessarily freak the fuck out, for lack of better terms. But it's that conversation with her that helped me understand that she's going to support me, but she was uncomfortable because that was a concern, right? And that was a valid concern. But having those real life conversations with somebody you love is an amazing thing.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I fell out
Now,
with a close homie of mine, bro, because I don't like to tell nobody what to do in a marriage. Right? I don't like to tell nobody to do in a relationship. But I also can't
you
sit
tell
back.
them if it doesn't work, they're gonna blame you.
Right. So I had a homie, bro, and we've been cool for years. And he took a job, right? And it's weird for me to say he took a job when I'm talking to his wife, but the job required relocation of the entire family, right? Relocation of the entire family, and his wife had kids with another guy, right? Before they got together. So you just made a huge ass decision to uproot not just your family but somebody else's, and you didn't even talk to nobody. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, I said, for me that was too much, right? It was a group of us, right? That we all had we used to talk and hang out and do guys trips and shit, and now we all was kind of like, man, that's kind of wild, bro. Like, you don't bounce it off your family at all. Like you just up and doing it. And that led to a couple other decisions where it's like, man, that's just too much. Right. And I'm like, it ain't my place to tell you how to live your life, but I can't sit back and just be cool with it. I got way too much shit I want to say, and that ain't my place. So I'm just gonna back off. You
I
know what I'm
try my
saying?
hardest not to give unsolicited advice. Um, my wife, we went through something similar. Like I said, she make more money than me. My wife been with her company for going on 25 years, and they gave us a choice. They was closing in Colorado. They said, y'all want to move to Spokane, Washington, Sewanee, Georgia, or Dallas? And me and her sat down and we thought about it for a while. I mean, they gave us months to decide, and we
Mm-hmm.
decided on Dallas. But anything I could do that because I can always get a job. It's
100%.
always my thought. I can get a job. I'm always gonna get some money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to stop her career. I mean, my
Right.
goal in life is to retire my wife,
Yep.
and and that's it. I want us to be able to hang out like we do. We hang out like wet clothes. we for real, and it don't matter where we at when we be on our trips. All we do is laugh and have fun.
Man, that's it, bro. That's it. We it's funny because my wife been with our company 25 years too, right? It's just way too many similarities, but that's cool. But we took a vacation. She turned 50 in November. We went to Aruba. Right? Aruba's our favorite place. We always said we was never going to the same place twice. Been all over the world, hit that spot, and then we've been just going back. But normally we get this
Yeah, sound like us.
we get this all inclusive resort. We chill, we have fun, we can do all this other stuff. This last time we did it, we did an Airbnb, and
Mhm.
like the last day of the trip, or the day before the last day, we decided to rent this little like a like 4x4, little 4-wheeler deal.
Yeah.
Um, bro, we had so much fucking fun. I was like, man, this is we just rode around the island nonstop, having a ball, stopping, taking, having little bites to eat, having a couple drinks we probably shouldn't
Mhm.
have while we were driving, but we just had, man, it was the craziest time. Like I'm like, we sat in this little car for like 8 or 10 hours that day, just riding around, just us, and we had the best
Mhm.
fucking time of our life, bro. To the point where like we're going back in a few months, and I'm like, we ran that for 2 days, right? We will take 2 days and just ride because it's just us, bro. We was out in a different country in a different island, just enjoying life, just us, right?
That's
And
what
I'm just like, man, that's
Jamaica said. Y'all said y'all want to go no place twice. Me and my wife, Jamaica, we call it our happy place. I've been a couple of times, but my favorite trip we've been on was when we went to Athens, Greece.
that's dope.
I've never been treated so well, and just it was just something different. It was just something
That's
different.
dope, bro. No,
I
that's
mean,
dope.
we're planning a trip right now to go to Barcelona
Oh
in
yeah.
Spain, and because that's what we want to do. We just want to travel.
And,
That's
I mean,
all.
that's life, bro. Right? To be able to travel. I know, like we're on our first grandkid, so that put a damper on the travel. More me than my wife, because I was telling my wife for the first, my grandson will be 2 in April.
Mm,
And I was like, I don't want to go nowhere. This is cool. Like I like this little dude. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like this is amazing to me. So I put the hold up on the travel. I mean, we can go to Chicago, we can go to Annapolis, we can go where I can get home, right?
That's
In my
what I love
car.
about Texas, though, because we can go to Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Padre Island. We be all over Texas.
Yeah, and still get home, right? If you need to. So
Mhm.
so not now he's a little bit older, and he had my grandson had some health issues when he was first born, and that was another thing that kept us close to home.
Definitely close,
Uh,
close to.
but he's been good now for almost it'll be a year in July, and so he's all set. He's better. All the problems been fixed. Thank God for medicine, right? You know what I'm saying for the technology. Because my
Yeah,
grandson had some heart issues when he was born, and we found that out within I think 5 or 6 days of him being born. And so as a young kid, right, as a baby, he's been in the hospital more than any adult that I know, right? And that was within the first year of his life. I was just looking through my phone earlier. It was a picture of him when he was strapped into a little thing when they was taking him flying on Riley's Hospital from Memorial, right? So like he's been through it all. And so for us, that was probably the most stressful time of my marriage, right? For me, right?
yeah.
And it was stressful because I I am I'm the provider. I'm the solutions provider, right? I'm the
That's
guy
why we
who
go you solutions oriented. So when
right
it's something you
I
can't fix,
can't fix. I was tore up, right? Because I can't fix it, bro. So that was I would say that was probably the most. And for me, I can't speak for my wife. I'm sure I didn't stress her out in some other ways, but for me, that was the most stressful part of my marriage. And we made it through, right? And I say that because I know we getting up on that time. So, but I say that to say no relationship is perfect, no marriage is perfect, no person is perfect, but there are people who are perfect together. And what I mean by that is things work out for the better.
hmm
They become one. When I shut this down, me and the wife gonna sit down. We're gonna play cards. We're gonna have a couple drinks, maybe pop a little edible. We just gonna chill. And
yeah,
and
my wife drink, but I don't. So I'll be in the garage, filling it up with smoke a little bit, but
right,
because
hey, hey,
we do our thing, because I don't drink.
right,
I do
right,
when we go on a trip.
right.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to Cancun in April. I don't care what nobody said. That's on the east coast of Mexico, which is
Right.
1,200 miles away. So
Hey, as
we're
long
going
as
to
long as you can
Cancun.
fly there, you straight. You know what I'm
Yeah, we're
saying?
going
Like,
to
as long as the plane
Cancun.
will let you go, you straight.
My
Um,
grandkids they're getting older on me. I mean, my grandkids is in school, so we get them on the weekends, and either every weekend or every other weekend, because it's a lot to deal with three of them. But and I got
yeah,
more
exactly.
grandkids than that too. I got more grandkids than that. We'll be talking, especially if we continue these
Oh yeah,
conversations.
we definitely want to do these, bro. Like I said, I know you was capped on time, and we hitting that,
Yeah,
but
because this is a therapy session, and it's
oh,
something
no
I could
doubt,
continue.
yes,
It
sir.
really is a therapy session because you get to vent out, the things that's going on that people don't know about you.
Right, 100%, bro. And for me, we're talking positively about marriage, where I think a lot of other brothers is not putting that out there, right? As a
Oh,
matter of fact,
negativity sells. If
yeah,
it bleeds, it
100%,
leads.
100%, right? Anyway, I appreciate it, bro. Let's get on the next one. Catch you next Friday, and if
All
something you
right,
want to
next
do another
Friday work for me, and I'm going to clear the schedule too. Next
for
Friday
sure.
work. All right,
All right.
brother. Hey, peace, man.